Guys, before we get going, we're going to do stuff a little differently here. All right? We got episode 206 about to get underway. We're going to be talking about what's going on with the company in the UK and what we've heard about what's going on over there and third-party contracting coming into UPS buildings, stealing routes. Luke had an interesting past week here. It is, first of all, Willow's birthday just passed, and they went to their first concert in Pittsburgh. Also, did anybody else see that video of the Amazon driver in the personal vehicle driving right up to the front door through the grass in someone's yard? Man, oh man. Lytx Cameras also has finally found their way to West by God, Virginia. Cold storage facilities for medical supplies that UPS has been doing, roadies in old UPS buildings. I mean, we got a bunch of stuff to talk about. So we're going to get into it here. Episode 206. I know you're ready. Luke and I are both ready. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Here we go.
On the side of the road, West by God, Virginia. And now your host, hey, Dave and Luke. Hey, and now your host, hey, Dave and Luke. Oh, and now your host, yeah.
What's up, everybody, and thank you for joining us on another episode of All in the Delivery. This is episode 206. Like we said, we got a jam-packed episode here for you, so let's get this one underway, shall we? Sending it off to your co-host down in West by God, Virginia.
Fuck.
Luke, how are you, buddy?
Dude, I am doing very, very well. We're recording when the week is not quite over tonight. So it's not 100% over, but as David said, this is Willow's birthday will be, as we record this, will be on Saturday. And dude, it was one. I know this is gonna just sound cliche as hell, but God, it really snuck up on me. It really did. The fact she's about to be 4, it just seems like she was born and I was in the waiting room waiting for them to bring Ashley back. And I was like, because she had a C-section and they were like, getting her fixed up and stitched up and everything they got to do. And it just seems like yesterday I was in there and she was asleep in my arms and I was like, God, please don't wake up. Please don't wake up. I have no idea what I'm doing. And now she's turning 4 years old and yeah, it's wild. And I'll say, with the concert, I'm going to go a little bit deeper into it, but I'm going to just start with the concert first in general because we went and saw Alex Warren, and Alex Warren has the song that I knew the best was the song "Ordinary," and that is actually the one Willow became obsessed with like 2 years ago. And it's loved, like, she's been listening to Alex Warren for a hot minute. I mean, she's turning 4. She's been listening to Alex Warren about half her life. And so Ashley had saw that he was coming to Pittsburgh, and we booked it way in advance. And kind of funny, when we booked it, it was like 6 months prior, and we were kind of laughing because we thought she might not even be into him when the time comes for it, but she was. And I'll just say, dude, it was the first time she's ever been to an arena, first time she's ever been in a city. And I wasn't on edge. I was more just like, I knew that I had to be, like, I told her, it's like, you got to stay close to me. We're not home, so you're not going to be like, here, I'll let her, I mean, obviously, in safe areas. I'm not saying when there's cars and stuff, but like when she meets me, if it's, we'll just say, if I'm on my lunch break, or even if we're just running out and about and we're in a area where there's like no cars going around, I'll let her go in front of me. I'll let her. She likes to walk by herself, quote unquote. Be a little Miss Independent. So I was explaining all that stuff. Like, you're not going to be able to do that here. There's going to be way too many people. So and it was like, she listened very well. I kind of jokingly said to Ashley, I wish she would listen to us as well as she did in Pittsburgh all the time. But
isn't it funny how kids, when they're in a whole different environment, they're just so yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, because you've experienced this a lot of times, and I mean, I have too with other things, like when we've gone away, but this was different just because of the mass amount of people. And, I'm not up to date with current music. I did not realize Alex Warren was as big as that he was. I didn't know that it was going to be at the PBG Arena. I had, like, when we had booked it, Ashley said, oh, no, it's in an indoor venue. And I kind of left it at that. I'm thinking, oh, it's, I don't know, fucking, like, I knew that he had done songs, like, once we had booked it and I kind of listened to stuff. I don't listen to Luke Combs, but I know Luke Combs is a big artist. He did a song with Luke Combs. He did a song with Jelly Roll. So, like, I knew that he was, like, obviously popular enough that he had some songs with, some big name people.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, when we get there and I just see the mass amount of people there for this, and I wasn't really nervous. I just was thinking, man, I hope she just doesn't freeze up, because I've told you before that when I was a little bit older than Willow, but I can still remember being in New York City when I was about 7 years old and seeing the flow of people just like jaw to the fucking sidewalk. I can still remember that feeling like it was yesterday, just literally feeling like I was in an absolute another I was in another world, but I didn't know if she was going to freeze. I didn't know that, but she did great, jammed out. And I guess I'll go ahead and just say this. I don't really want to go really long into this because this is just the beginning of the episode, and this is the week's not completely over, but I do want to say this. Anybody that listens to this that would have listened to Alex Warren or know anything about him, I honestly didn't know this until the fucking concert, till we were at the show. But both of his parents passed away. His dad died when he was 9, and his mom passed away. I don't remember when. He said he was older. He's only 25, so it couldn't have been, like way, way down the road. But he, it was so weird because, people that have listened long enough, they most know that I lost my mother when I was a kid. And hearing him, like, because I had no idea that this must be a thing at his show. I mean, a lot of musicians talk before shows, in between. That's not, that's obviously a normal thing. I've seen plenty of concerts where musicians and artists have done that. But like he I guess he does stuff like, dude, it was dark humor. Like, there was a sign that somebody had in the crowd of a kid, like, saying, I wish my dad could have crashed this concert for me instead of being in that plane crash. And I'm like, holy fucking shit. Damn, that's a random ass sign, knowing nothing about this guy. Yeah. So this is where it gets kind of, it really, for somebody that experienced, like, my dad's still living, so I haven't lost both of my parents, but, I've when you lose, basically, he said to another kid of the kid that was in the audience down below, because we were like in the upper deck. We had really good seats, but we we weren't like down right on stage. So they had these signs and these kids that were there, and somebody had said something about, like, you couldn't hear them obviously, but then he's like repeating it through the microphone. And he said, you lost your mom. Well, you lost both your parents. So you're just like me. We're like orphans. And I know people that haven't lost, like people that aren't in this, haven't had this experience. That might sound insensitive and fucking fucked up.
Yeah.
But I can tell you, because he explained this after the fact. You know, he said when his dad died, he was 9 years old. And he said that, you know, people told him he needed to move on, that time would make it easier and stuff would go back to normal. But he said, but it never really does. And dude, it really doesn't. Not to say that it turns your life completely upside down, but like, dude, like when Willow was born, and to this day with her being 4, I've had more thoughts. Like, dude, I think about my mom all the time, because it, like, when she was born, that was when I understood her end of trying to beat cancer. That was when I got it as a parent. I never knew that until Willow was born. So I still to this day think about her a lot. But basically what he was saying was, and I was telling Dave about this on the phone because I gave him a heads up, because I said, I don't want to blindside you with this on the episode, but I feel like I got to bring it up. He, you know, saying that of you should move on, let go, don't hold on to it. Like people that try to bury it. And dude, and I don't fault my dad, and I don't fault anybody, but dude, it happens. People try to, like, people don't want to fucking bring it up, or they don't want to talk about it some. And it's just like, as a kid, it makes you feel isolated. Like you're almost afraid to, and I've spoke with my dad plenty about my mom over the years. Not a lot, because it's just one of them things that, you know, we get into it a little bit here and there, but it's not, even all these years later, I know it's tough for him. I don't like to bring it up much, because I know how hard that was on him at the time. And I don't like to, so really it's probably more me than anything. But for a kid, you feel fucking isolated. And you don't, because it's not a normal thing, because when you're a young kid, most of the time your parents are younger and they're still alive. So Alex Warren kind of saying it like he did and embracing it and talking about it openly right there in the fucking flesh. Like, dude, I thought as a kid that would be the coolest too, because it doesn't make you feel, in an odd way of saying this, it doesn't make you feel like, you feel weird almost. It almost makes you feel like an outcast when it's the other way. But when you talk about it in the open like that, and you're like, holy shit. And when he said, you're just like me. So this kid's like, oh my God, you know, Alex Warren, we and him are in the same, you know, we have the same experience. So I just, as somebody that lost a parent when I was young, dude, it's to try to explain that you can't, it's not really, it's hard to try to put into words, but it's just, when you try to like bury it, it does, dude. It makes a kid feel more on an island. And I just wanted to applaud him for going about it. I just had no idea. You know, I didn't know. I saw that sign, like I had no idea his fucking parents died. You know, I had no idea at this, and he's reading this sign. I thought, Jesus, man, that's a fucking random ass thing to say. And then I found out, but yeah, but the concert was good. We got home a little after midnight. Willow's schedule and my own has kind of not recovered yet. She's been going to bed early, but getting up early. She's been asleep for a while as we record this, but yes, the concert was a fucking huge hit. She wants to go to another one. We've already got a venue lined up locally for the 4th of July.
Yeah.
And I think there's something going on locally for her birthday at a place we normally take the boat to. So we might have ourselves a good birthday story to tell from Saturday, if the weather upholds, of course. But yeah, the week here has been not bad. The only reason it's been long is because I went to a concert in the middle of the week, and I obviously I didn't drink a drop of fucking alcohol, and that's what was funny. Like Ashley and I were both saying, like, this is the first concert we've probably ever been to, or we're like completely stone. Like most of the time, I'm fucking like most of the concerts I've seen, probably 85% of them I was about on the verge of blacking out. So yeah, I'll always remember I'll probably remember the Alex Ward concert better than any of them.
Nah, that's good, man. That's good. You guys had a great time there. Glad that Willow had a good time there too. It's awesome. Awesome stuff.
Oh, absolutely. Shit, sorry. Check there.
That's all right.
Water.
Water. And my dude, fuck this week. Like we said, it's only Thursday, and I'm over here just like back to back heavy ass days. Like not just heavy like stop wise, but even the stuff people ordering, dude. The one day Tuesday, I can't even tell you the amount. Like I had 4 like armoires or whatever the fuck they're called. Those furnitures. And I had like 4 boxes of those. I had 2 king size mattresses. I had 2 king size frames that went with those mattresses. Then I had like a fucking sofa that was in like 4 large boxes. I also had 2 lawnmowers that day. Dude, it was just everything was big. And
those are the worst, man.
Oh my God.
It's like when it
'Cause
rains, it pours.
Yeah, you're battling the big boxes all day long, most likely. Literally, my second to last stop was one of those lawnmowers, you know? And yeah, so Tuesday sucked. Tuesday sucked for me. And then I mean, we could get into this. I just for those that play sports and everything, because obviously, if you've listened long enough, you guys know that I play softball on Wednesday nights in the summertime. I just have a quick little story to tell about what happened this past week. Well, first off, I would say this team that we were playing against, they won 5 straight games up until we played them. And we played them back-to-back weeks and beat them both times. But this past Wednesday, we blew these guys out of the water. It was like 10-run mercy rule in the 4th inning, and we ended up beating them. And so I'm pitching for our team. I'm the pitcher, and I got 2 strikes on this one guy. And I didn't throw anything funny. I just lobbed the ball in there, and this dude swung and missed. Swung and missed. Strike 3. Go sit down. And you know, so there's just a couple things with slow pitch softball. When you strike out, I mean, I've never struck out, like I've never swung and missed like that, but when you strike out, it's embarrassing, you know, and you know you're gonna hear the chirps when you get back to the bench from your teammates, and
Yeah.
so it's embarrassing, and then there's most likely people laughing at you for swinging and missing. And after this dude swung and missed, my catcher, all I see from him is this huge cheesy grin, and he's smiling so big, and then I just see his shoulders bobbing up and down because he's cracking up to himself behind home plate. He's just like. And then that made me smile because I see him just fucking loving it. And I had to turn around. I had to face the outfield. I did not want the other team to see me laughing. And like, I literally had to take my glove. I put my glove over my face, and just so they you know, they wouldn't see me laughing. Cause I'm trying not to embarrass the dude more, obviously, than he just embarrassed himself by striking out. Like, I wasn't going to, like, laugh at him, but Shirley's trying not to. But dude, my catcher had me cracking up. But yeah,
well, you think about it, dude, like, because I didn't know until you told me the rules. Like, if you foul ball on 2 strikes, that's a strikeout. And that would be like, dude, you're still making a connection with the ball. It pops out of foul,
right.
whatever.
And that happens.
Yeah, right. I see. I'm sure that happens more so than not. But the whiff on a swing, dude, slow pitchy, I'm sure that it has to be a thing. Like once you like do the complete like follow through with the bat, you're like, oh god,
dude. I mean, like I've gone down looking before where I was like, you know, I'll argue with the umpire, be like, how is that a strike, bro? You know, like that's happened before, but like swinging and missing on strike 3 is like I've seen people swing and miss, like maybe strike 1, you know, and that's because they're trying to kill the ball, but they don't even make contact, you know, and strike 3 is that's a tough look. That's a tough one. But yeah, I'm gonna forever have my catcher's like that image in my head of him just cheesing so big, this grin on his face and his shoulders just bobbing
Shoulders
up and down
bouncing.
because he's laughing back there. But yeah, that was the only good thing that happened this week so far. And yeah, man, that's fucking
We
work
I
in
was gonna
softball.
say, I'm looking at the docs and I'm like, yeah, that pretty much. I was like, we got the uplifting stuff out of the way. But
that part's true.
yeah, man, for this being a short week recording, there was a lot of shit that had happened, and I'll go ahead and just start with on. You had heard Dave with the Lytx cameras finally making their way to West by God, Virginia. So I was not there for ground zero day 1 because I had a personal day on Tuesday for the Alex Warren concert, and that was when they installed the first 10, I guess, was on Tuesday. And I'm getting messages. Well, I'm not getting messages directly, but my fantasy football group chat in my center, they're sending texts and they're saying like, I saw the term thermal camera, and I went, oh my God, we got the fucking Lytx cameras are finally here. And it was funny because they just happened randomly, quote unquote. I feel like they put them on the 10 drivers that they probably wanted to just piss off. I did not get one yet. As we record, I'm currently still without one, but they said that we'll all have one by the end of next month. So there was one thing that this was something that because we have people in the building that listen to the podcast. We not everybody does. I've never asked, I don't fucking tell people, but David, what Dave and I got here is a lot of, and we've got some more stuff, unfortunately, to talk about that we had heard through, across the pond, so to speak, but we'll get into that later. But we, with what we hear from people, whether it be through the Discord or through social medias or just, phone conversations, whatever it may be, there's a network out there. And for a lot of my drivers, they were just fucking like stunned, I think, or just livid that, they're filing grievances about these cameras. And I'm just sitting there like, dude, we may as well set this fucking grievance on fire. I hate to say that. I'm not discouraging people from filing grievances, but because of the podcast, and you've had yours now for what, a couple years?
Yep.
So that's what I mean, dude. I've been hearing it, and like this, they're not going to fucking take them out. And I think the thing that bothers me the most, because I use this as an opportunity, because they obviously, so people that I do listen, or the people that are at least in the know of it, they knew we had Richard Hooker Jr. on. They obviously, for anybody that listened, they obviously have heard us be really critical of O'Brien and Zuckerman allowing this stuff to happen in the first place. But now I was able to directly, point blank, fucking say to them, like I said, this is them allowing this to happen. That's our leadership fucked us in this, and now you all are finally seeing it. I'd say, because anytime I would ever bring stuff up, it always would get brought up with wage and money. And it's not about the money, dude. It's the money was good. I've never fucking complained about getting a raise from that contract. It's just about letting shit slip through to where you give them an inch, they're going to try to take a mile kind of thing.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it just is. It was one of those things that a lot of people locally I saw, and I'm just like, now you understand, now you get it. But even a lot of them though, still, they were saying, like they were showing this video or this article, a lot of them, the older guys especially, that were showing it, and they were saying that, the language was different because they're calling it a sensor and not a camera. I don't fucking buy that. It's a fucking cop-out. They knew the Lytx cameras were getting installed before that fucking contract got started. They said it would be a strikeable offense because they needed to be removed. We've heard people talk about audio. You're not supposed to do that. There's plenty of shit out there. And I said that to my fucking, I was like, I'm not telling you guys that you're going to listen into this shit. I said that straight up to a supervisor. I said, I'm just telling you that there's been people out there that've got pretty solid proof that these things pick up fucking audio if they choose to do that. And it was, just one thing. It drove me nuts, the sensor thing. Because we got something with Rhodey we'll talk about in a little bit too. Again, I just want to jump. I'm not trying to jump ahead, but UPS purchased Rhodey in 2021, 2 years before this fucking contract got started. So just keep that in mind when we talk about the Rhodey thing, because there is just shit that they're allowing to fucking, and I don't really want to say this too much to the audience, because for the listeners and most of the other drivers, you guys have had these. My building is in that, for like David said before we started recording, we're in that initial high emotion, pissed off, annoyed part of it because we finally got him and everybody hates him, and everybody was like, I thought this was a strikeable, and of course everybody was like, oh, we don't get AC, but of course we get cameras we're not supposed to have, kind of thing, and just laughing. And but yeah, it just they're here and we're going to have to deal with them.
Right.
They were saying,
kind of like PVDs when PVDs first started.
Yeah,
everybody got pissed off.
Yeah,
and people would file grievances, but
yeah, now
we
it's
still got
supposed
PVDs.
to be, yeah, and they call them. That's a great fucking example, dude. I'm so glad you said that, because this is another thing. They're called, they called SSDs now. So
thank you for remembering, because I did not. But
so
SSDs.
you're able. They weren't supposed to be using them anymore, but they changed the name of it, and they can fucking do it. It's that easy. So why the fuck do you even negotiate to begin with if they can just change one fucking word or a few letters and just be like, oh, we're going to do it anyway. Fuck you. Like that to me just makes it seem like I fucking don't want to disrespect them guys, because they're in the thing, but it makes them look like fucking doormats to me. And I don't give a shit to say that, man. I've been fucking very, very discouraged, and I want them to do well, and I want them to represent, but there are answers I would love to have, and there's just people that refuse to fucking acknowledge it, and it felt good. I mean, I don't even feel like it felt like a victory, because it wasn't. It's not a victory. I don't want them fucking things any more than they do. It's just the fact of having a complete blind eye that there might be some shit that, you should be concerned about or address, to be worried, that might give you worry in 2028 or 10 years or, 12 years down the road, whatever it may be. But
whoa, nobody should panic about 2028.
Yeah. I'd still, we're getting fucking, oh my God, dude. Nobody should panic. It's true. We still got a lot of numbers here, but
at least that's what I hear.
Boy, thhere disbanding.
But that's the thing. Fucking, we keep it real here, and that's exactly you wear your emotions on your sleeve, and you'll tell it how it is. Same thing with me, and sometimes people get pissed off at whether it be the union, whether it be UPS, and it really is one of those times. And right now, and all the shit that you see, and man.
Yeah.
Lytx cameras.
it just and it goes into, I guess to kind of switch gears a little bit here to a cold storage facility. I want to talk about this for a minute because do you want to bring up the UK thing after?
Yeah, because I mean, the cold storage thing's been happening for a while now.
Maybe it was just a new post or a business thing. I don't want to put too much to it because if it has been happening for a while, then this was just a move into the medical
it's been the last few
addressed it.
years.
Has it been? Oh, damn.
Yeah.
I did
So
not
it kind of
realize
plays
that.
into Carol Tomei's plan to move more towards medical. It all lines up. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. I got you.
But you know what time it is, though.
I do know what time it is.
It's time to give a quick little shout out to our Patreon subscribers. So, real quick, thank you to Tony, Starla, Luke, Jacob, Jeff, Adam, Chuck, Justin, Brian, Dusty, Alpha 80 Swag, the Rollin' Rogans, Kay, and Sinner. Thank you guys so much for your continued support. It means the world to Luke and I. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody.
Absolutely. And if you want to join, click the link in the description, and you will get plenty. Old low-tech Tommy here. I figured out why my videos weren't working, and I can't give you. It's about as low of fucking tech of an answer as I can give you. On my internet, they post. When I try to do it on the road on break, they will not. So you're going to be seeing a lot more posts now because I've literally. They're just going to be coming in the evening hours is all.
Yes, that's right. So if you want to, if you enjoy the show and want to help support what we do, Patreon is the best way to do it. Your support helps us improve the podcast. It brings on more guests. It continues to create content for the delivery community. So thank you, everybody.
We shifted a little bit on that middle of the episode. We love you, Patreons. We thought we would give it more of a. We just wanted to try something different. Yeah, exactly.
Woo.
So, do you want to get into the UK stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we've heard some stuff going on in the UK, and obviously with having the podcast and the community that we do, we have a pulse even what goes on in the UK and inside this company. So what we heard, these are facts coming from an employee over there. That is that there is a third-party company stealing routes, or just they're giving these routes away to this third-party company, which means there is UPS employees that are losing routes to a third-party contracting company.
Yeah, and when we first heard that, they had busted the union out of UPS, but that's technically not true.
Not entirely true.
Not entirely true yet. Yes. But they're able to use third-party contractors. They're also jacking up their prices of shipping to try to lower volume to merge routes. And this is go ahead.
Yeah, no. So I wanted to say too, talking about the contracting and stuff like that and the union. This is also a fact, and that is that in their contract, there was language that got by saying that UPS will be able to use a third-party company for deliveries. And how this got by the union, how this slipped into the contract, yeah, that's not good. And obviously, you get a lot of pissed off people now, these employees, that are like, how did this get by you guys? Like, how, like, why is this in there? It's kind of like what we're saying about why are the Lytx cameras in our trucks? You know, why is this language in here? Because now we're losing jobs. So, like, you're losing routes now. So, which means staffing then from the top to the bottom is going to start going down, and people at the bottom are not going to be working.
Yeah.
Right? Like, there's so many different avenues you could take about this jobs, about these routes leaving that building and going to a contractor, third-party company. And that's terrible. That's absolutely terrible. Like, how does that make the union look good? Like,
I don't understand, but well, what we had heard, I mean, through like I was like, we can keep them anonymous, but people that have listened long enough probably could take a couple guesses, I'm sure. But you know, they must have a weak union,
right? And for those that don't know, it's not Teamsters. Teamsters is not over there in the UK. It's some third party. Yeah,
and to give.
Yeah.
Thing, because we have been doom and gloomy with this, with the Teamsters and us here in the U.S., we've still got a lot formidable we got way more numbers, but dude, the fact that this has started, and the UK is just the beginning, and obviously they have a weak union, but they were able to fucking, I don't know how you slip language in third party contractor. Like, how the fuck does that happen? Unless you are either in on it or just that incompetent. But so whoever that union is over there, fuck, I'm glad you're not representing us. But but the United Kingdom's just the beginning, because they'll probably try to do this all throughout Europe. You would think, because they don't have, you know, the U.S. is a massive fucking country, and we have, I think it's 1.3 million Teamster employees in the country. But every, you know, in Europe, it's not, you know, it's a lot smaller, and you got, like, you would have different. So I feel like it would be easier for them to disband, but they're definitely starting. And, you know, like our,
Yeah, real quick too, I heard, like, you know, there was rumors saying that there was actually drivers that stopped paying dues and stepped out of the union because they didn't want them representing them if shit like this is getting by. Like, there was a lot of pissed off people, it sounded like, over there, and rightfully so.
Yeah, dude. They're basically saying that, hey, you may, like, as a union and as a union worker, and you're basically, like, I'm saying, if I was in their shoes as a driver, you're just basically saying, like, hey, you're going to pay dues and we're going to represent you, but they may not use you for work, because they're just going to hire somebody off the street, and you might be fucked anyway. So yeah, I'd probably skedaddle out of there myself, but it just, yeah. Why would you want to stick around for something that's that bad?
Right. And what we also heard too is July 1st is when they're going to be getting their buyout, is what we also heard too. So now the buyout's getting offered to drivers over there in the UK, I hear, July 1st. And the way it looks like it's going over there, I think they're going to see a huge drop off.
I would agree with that as well. If it looked like, if it looked like that over here, I would have taken the last one. I'm sure you probably would have too. I think a lot of people, you know, and
the writing's not on the wall yet over here, but what it sounds like over there is
the writing's definitely on the wall.
Yeah, dude.
And then so what do you, that really puts them in a tough position, because because of the contractor thing, they could basically just be like, if you don't take this buyout, you're not going to fucking work. So if you want to try to be a hard ass here, then, oh God. Yeah, that was, I hated to hear that, man. I hated to hear that. And, you know, we've had, even the UK drivers we've had on, and the other drivers that we haven't had on that have been longtime members of the cardboard community. I fucking hate that for all of them, man. I just they deserve better, and it just is. You know, when it's as big of a company as this, you just don't like. I hate that. I hate that it just it. And it's just like, I think they even said it. It's just, it wasn't like how much money they're making, all the billions of dollars they're fucking making. It's just, it's not enough because they're trying to tweak shit. Like it's never, I don't know. That's corporate America. I'm not going to act like, no, there's no corporation going to be like, you know what? Let's cap off how much money we can make. So I'm not going to fucking act like UPS is any different from the rest. But yeah, it was deflating to hear that.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
man. It's tough.
to bring up a smidge more deflating news, Rhodey has, as I'd said when I went on the little mini rant with the Lytics cameras, Rhodey was purchased in 2021. And so again, 2 years removed or prior to, the 2023 contract negotiations. So PVDs were mentioned in that. As we had said earlier, they just changed some fucking letters around and used them anyway. So it didn't seem to matter. But Rhodey was purchased. They were well aware, but apparently there was no, there was nothing in there about Rhodey, which essentially you could say is third-party contract drivers in itself. I don't know. I'm sure they probably are actually employed. But I'm going to play a video. I don't know how well it's going to come through, but this guy on TikTok, shout out to Vince, a recent guest, Vince Schmidt, tagged us in a comment section of this guy's video. And I'm just going to play it and see if it comes through here. It's not very long, but this is a feeder driver going to a hub that was closed down a couple years ago, but I guess reopened or never maybe technically closed down. And I'll just let you listen to it. Let me get it up here first. Oh, fucking social media. Lytx Tommy, don't fucking... Oh, my God. I should have had you do this.
Oh, God.
Hold on a minute. I'm just fucking going on TikTok. I know I just fucking had it. Here it is.
CEO, Carol. Old Atlanta building that we closed a few years ago has a company called Rhodey running it out. Pick up yesterday, and the guy said, I only got one trailer for you. I said, well, where's my other stuff? He said, Rhodey came over here and got 2 trailers. I said, okay, so Rhodey's coming over here to getting UPS volume. He said, yep. So the CEO, UPS pays this lady, and she's running her own company out of our old UPS building, and she's giving them UPS volume. What in the hell are we doing? So our CEO is running us dry. And she cut all these jobs and closing all these buildings and all these people getting laid off and all the things. She's also got her own company running it out of our old building for her damn self. Sweet. So how about...
Yeah.
That was the end of it there. Joseph Whitehead is the name on that. I don't know if that's who reposted it, but if that's you, shout out to you. That was the driver.
At UPSman11 on TikTok. Yeah.
Yeah, right there, dude.
Are we not surprised?
running us dry. That was such a good use of words, where she's using volume. She's essentially taking from that, putting it into roadie, which is good for roadie, obviously, to try. Like, how is that shit any different than the fucking UK stuff? I mean, I'm not saying it's as serious because we're obviously in a lot better shape than they are, but fuck. I mean, that right there, and that was something, again, it's fucked up. They're trying to get rid, and this is what gets me fired up about us with being union employees. And this is why with the fucking people that, I don't care if you were always pro Oz Slate. If you've liked Sean O'Brien, that's your fucking right. But how is a union, how is a Teamster, do you hear shit like this and you're like, okay, so what the fuck is our response going to be? What are we going to do? This is clearly, how was this not negotiated 3 years ago for this not to happen? And dude, it blows my fucking mind that that's as blatant as it is, dude. Shut down a facility. He goes there for a pickup. I guess so it must just be, it's not a center, so they must have trailers. Him as a feeder driver, he picks up trailers from there. So it must be just like a drop off point kind of thing, how they'll do, where it's not a, preload, unload, all that shit. Fuck. Yeah. That, yeah, Vince, if you hear this, I'm glad you tagged us in that. At the same time, I'm almost not, because part of that but I'm glad to know. Information, knowledge is power. And this is a thing that now that they are in the seat for another 5 years, like, what is the fucking response? What is the response to a driver? That's just a rank and file fucking union member right there, just like you and me. He just drives he drives a feeder. That's the only difference. And that, to me, it infuriates me.
Insane.
And that is how, and you're telling me 1,500 plus fucking delegates. I don't even want to get into that, dude, but it just, like, how does it not get questioned? How does that not, like, now? Oh God. I could, yeah. I'm going to fucking stop myself, because it's fucking 11 o'clock at night and I'm just fucking amped. And I'm like, I gotta remind myself this is Thursday, not Friday. But yeah, dude, it's just, it's shitty. And there's really not a whole lot more to say. I mean, Carol wants, dude, it's obvious. She wants nothing more than to get rid of us as union employees. And
I mean, if you see it from a business side point of view, save the company a lot of money.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. They've always made a shit ton of money, but now these greedy bastards have realized that they can make more money if they just try to do, like, hey, we can just do what Amazon does, and we can do what FedEx does. Now, I keep seeing these little reports, like, of positive reports of, there are Amazon places, I guess, that the Teamsters have been able to get, but on the grand scale, I don't think they're nowhere near to be. There's a lot of money. There's a lot of money fucking to push. I mean, I've said it before, and I'll say it again, dude. Jim Casey is the only reason. God bless him, our founder. He is the only reason we are that, dude. Can you imagine Carol Tomei in the board of directors now going, you know what, we should really unionize our employees. Like, we need to make sure we get them the best raises we can get and give them great benefits.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, dude. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, Jim Casey, well, he did us a favor all them years ago. But fuck, dude. Yeah, he would fucking roll in his grave, dude. And I want to say, because I did mention Jim Casey, with Vic Warhowski in the Christmas episode, as bad as my internet was that episode, one thing that I'd said that I always want to try to stick in there, because I've had people say to me before that he would be impressed by how big it's become. And maybe he probably would have been. But if you just went back and could talk to that man for 10 minutes, back into like Back to the Future style, and you just told him, like, hey, you know, overnight deliveries that people pay a premium for, we get them now sometimes, and we just don't deliver them.
Fuck.
Yeah, dude. Like, you imagine him being like, what do you fucking mean you don't deliver? Like, they just sit there and you do it the next day? You're like, yeah, man. Can you believe it?
God.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Right.
Holy cow. Yeah, dude.
I swear
Do we have
it'll,
anything else?
I don't know if there's any would you rathers or not. If there isn't, I think I'm pretty good on my end.
You still, what was that? You want to you're trying to adopt the dog wearing a Michael Vick jersey. And,
Dude, that was so.
and the first question you got to ask him is the dog tough?
That made me laugh. I always re-listen to the
Shit.
episode I listened to it one time when we release it, always to make sure there's no audio messed up, dude. And I was fucking dying. And I had that on the sound bar. I was sitting there wondering, like, I forget where I was at, but I remember I kind of got up to the truck fast because I think I was even in a parking lot. I might have been on break and I was coming off break maybe. And I thought, God, if the wrong person hears that, be like, what? But I will say something about dogs, though. My bubby, old Gus, he's so fucking fat now, and people can say that that's part of on the owners, and yeah, it probably is. But he's an annoying fucking dickhead, and all he wants to do is eat. But he's so fat now and old. Like, he's 11, but dude, he's so, like, dude, I can catch him. Like, I'm talking when and I'm not fucking getting any younger or faster. You know, I'm definitely not in my fucking prime anymore. I'm not saying I'm old, but I'm definitely on the fucking downslope. I'm not getting faster with age. Dude, he is so slow now that he tried to, so shout out to my in-laws. They went out, they went on a little trip, stayed in just like literally walkabout trip, random trip where they're, you know, they've got the time, they got their, you know, they still got their health. They wanted to go enjoy themselves. So they've been gone for a couple of days. They just went to a hotel, stayed, and I think they went somewhere else. So we went down there because Tuesday we went down because I was off work, and they have a dog named Emma, Emma's fucking old, man. You want to talk about old? Ashley and I've been together 4 years, dude. Emma's been around since I've been here. So Emma's, I think, like, is 15 or 16 years old.
Oof.
So we take Gus down with us because we're right down the road, and he doesn't like to leave there. That place, I mean, since he was born, I think we've lived in fucking like four places since he was born. And but that place was always the constant, and he fucking loves it down there. And he normally never wants to leave. And when they have a gate, they have a fence, and when they're down at the end of a dead end street, so it's like there's not really a lot of houses down. It's just like behind their house, it's just woods. And he would normally always take off and run. He likes to run down by them woods and shit, dude. And I'm like looking at him, and I can see it in his eyes. He's going to take off. I'm like, dude, don't fucking do it. And then I realized, I was like, what the fuck am I doing? I was like, he's fucking fat and slowed so bad now. He can't even fucking outrun me. So I like, normally I'm worried, like, I'll leave the gate shut. So I'm like, fuck it, let him go. He gets out and he's like waiting for me. And I turn around, I'm like, all right, let's go. And he takes off. And I like roll my eyes and I just fucking run and catch right up to him. I'm like, you fat fuck, dude. God, like, it's so, like, it's like he can't even fucking, and he tried, dude. He was still running like full fucking steam. I was just running right beside him, like, all right, buddy. And it's sad because I'm like, I shouldn't be able to catch my dog, but he's just fucking, he's just getting fatter and more blind and old. He's had Lyme disease for 2 years. He's just fucked up, but he's all right. He's still alive. He's too fucking.
though.
His anxiety's too bad. He ain't gonna die that easy, man. He'll be around for a while.
That was fun.
Yeah, it was. I figured I'd give a lighthearted vote in there.
Despite all the
at end.
negativity we talked about. But
We'll be more positive next time. Unless they give us a reason not to be.
well, guys, be safe out there, everybody. I'm Dave, and your co-host next door here, Luke. Everybody, we'll see you all next week.
Later, everybody.